Greetings to the best family on YouTube. Well, Herc, that's our opinion here at carryorbury, am I correct?
Absolutely, they are the best.
And they are our EDC family.
Absolutely.
I'm your host, Prophet.
And I'm also your host, Herc.
And with us, as always, is the Professor. And Chaos, and Kitten, and Cuz, and Lord knows all you folks in the EDC family are here. Wait a second. Herc, are you making a parallel or trying to go sideways on me by copying me?
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Wait a minute, are you trying to give hints?
Well, that might be something that I'm trying to do, bud. Well, you know what? It is what I'm doing. EDC family, before we jump into it, let's go ahead, since we're holding our carries, our EDC carries. What do we call that, Herc?
Pocket check? Show me the flipper!
Show me the flipper! Woo. Well, I carried today something very near and dear to my heart as of recently. Herc bought a pack of very stunning, very wonderful Swiss Army knives. And if you're not familiar with these guys, they are made by
Victorinox?
That's right. Gosh, Herc, you are really the man when it comes to this.
I try to be.
The man, the myth, the legend. And I tell you what, even the, you can see my little wine cork guy here. Yeah, my wine corkscrew is trying to get into the key ring. Anyways, Herc bought 5 of these used, and this one has my real name on it, my Christian name. Obviously, it doesn't say Prophet, but we could always put Prophet somewhere on it. But
we absolutely could.
He thought it was cool, so this is what I carried today. And before the EDC family or Dane, before Dane goes, I don't know how I forgot Dane's name. Lord help me.
I don't know.
Before Dane gets upset with me, I did not do this to this knife, my brother.
Nope, it was a little bit of a choppy job sharpening that bad boy.
It was somebody who I think might have used a rock. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it's a little shoddy.
But I digress. I carried this guy today, and I also carried one of our favorite collective torches or flashlights.
We do love our Arcfeld.
This is our Arcfeld. We each have one of these, and I carry mine more often than not. And obviously, folks, this is the Arcfield Ultra that has all 3 phases of wonderful usability on it and a slim profile. Love this thing. It's fantastic. I carried a coin today. We put it up here. I just carried a beautiful little Roman coin today. I don't know if you can see that, EDC family. It isn't perfect. If anyone can guess what this is, they just might get a carryorbury lanyard, some other fun stuff sent to them. We'll give you a hint. It's not a regular denarius, okay? It might have something that is a little bit above a regular denarii. Let's just see what happens. That was my pocket piece today. Obviously, this is what was in my pocket, but I am almost positive that Herc had something in his pocket today.
I did. I absolutely did. I got this knife recently from the one and only Prophet. He loves to buy knives that I probably wouldn't buy. This one is way fancier than I would normally get. It's a Novus Viper. Very, very nice knife. M390, which has become one of my favorite knife steels of recently. Definitely more of a premium knife steel, but these things stay sharp forever. Love the carbon fiber handle on this thing. It has been in my pocket ever since he gifted it to me. So,
and just so you folks know, it was gifted to him for he had a birthday. He had a birthday come up, and so this is what Professor and I got him for his birthday.
Yeah.
Well, one of 2 things. We got him a little bit of an early gift, and then we got him this.
Yes,
and this
absolutely.
is an MKM, if you're wondering, Montiago Knife Company, or Montiago Knife Makers, and it is a collective group of wonderful Italian citizens over in Italy, and they actually feature a lot of very well-known and very amazing knife makers. They have a really great thing over there where they have the best and the brightest get together. They all help each other out. It's kind of really one of the things that I love most about the EDC community.
Yeah, this thing's beautiful. It's polished everywhere. The spine of the knife is polished. The backspacer here is polished. Everything is just, it takes such good attention and pay to everything on this knife. It's beautiful.
I can totally see why you had that in your pocket.
Absolutely. So I had that, and then I would have been carrying my Arcfeld Ultra, but the battery died, unfortunately, after I think I had it in my pocket for 4 or 5 months, never charging it, and the battery finally died. So got to recharge that. So I had to replace her today with the Baton 4. So that's what I had, just this little guy. Very, very bright for how small it is, but it also kind of disappears in the pocket, much like the Arc-Field does.
Yeah, Olight sure does get a lot of love on this channel.
Man, yeah, I'm kind of a sucker.
I wonder, maybe we'll get some sponsorship one day from them.
Maybe. But this is what I had today.
Beautiful.
Beautiful fifth pocket carry here. This one fits in my fifth pocket. Maybe not if you're a smaller gentleman, but...
Well, we love it all the same. Now, EDC family, since we're all finished with our lovely intro stuff, right? I'm sure you're wondering what we have on the table. And what Herc was alluding to a little bit ago, we were kind of making a little fun gesture about the parallelness or the sidewaysness or even the up and down of the whole copycat thing. But again, Prophet digresses. What do we got for him, Herc? Talk to him about it.
This is the Vosteed Parallel. So this one is actually the Blade HQ exclusive. I'm not sure if you can see the tag there. This is the Blade HQ exclusive S35VN blade. The topographic titanium scales. Very, very pretty. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't taken a peek at this one, but I'm going to let Prophet unbox it here so he gets kind of a first look at it, at how beautiful this knife actually is.
Yeah, thank you. And honestly, that's really great. So what Herc is saying, EDC family, he has absolutely looked at this. He was excited when it came. He ordered it. What was the USD price on this when it was ordered?
I believe this one was $169, and that's for the Blade HQ exclusive.
I heard they're numbered.
They are, yep.
Wow.
This one is out of 300. There are lots of variants on this one. They have variants that are 149. I believe those are 154 CM blades.
Cool.
They also have 129, which I think those are also 154 CM.
Gotcha. So if you like the way this looks, you can obviously pick up a parallel,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
At a better price than the 169. But this one was just special because it's a limited edition Blade HQ exclusive.
Yep, and I think these ones are sold out on Blade HQ.
You get a little, is this everything that came with it?
That is everything that came in the box, yes, sir.
So you get a little Vosteed deal here, right? Love it. Ooh, Espanol as well. Francias as well, and Dutch. And we've got some other beautiful languages that you can read about that in. Yeah. I'm going to put the box aside. Box packaging is okay. Did you get any, like, and you may have it in here, I don't know, but did you get any like stickers or any other like cool things with it?
There are stickers. Ooh. There is a cleaning cloth in there, I believe, inside there. This one actually also comes with, and you'll see when you open it up here.
Well, first look goes to you, EDC family. Whoa! All right, enough of that. EDC family, what you are seeing here, let me give it the first flick of the day because, you know, that's just what I want to do. Fantastic. All right. Okay. Sorry about that, EDC family. I was going to just give it a quick wipe down because it's very mirror-like, actually. It is thin, boy. I was not expecting that.
That is a very thin handle and blade, yes.
Lord help. You know what? It might be actually good to get the actual calipers out for this. All right. We're going to put the knife down briefly for a second. And as again, EDC family, as you know, this is a first impression or unboxing, right? This isn't a full video. So again, what you're seeing is we're going to just basically kind of give you our first impression or my first impression on a knife that Herc has actually purchased for himself. And I'm very sure that Herc is not going to get rid of this, but we will have a full video in Herc's opinion here that will come up after he gets at least 30 days using the knife in the wild, if you will, or whatever. So without further ado, what we're going to be doing is mostly I'm going to kind of get a feel for this guy, maybe ask Herc some questions since he's already carried it for a week or so, and hopefully that will give you an idea of what our first impressions are of the Vosteed Parallel. Okay? All right. So before we actually, you know what, let's do this like I said I would do. Looks like we have, oh, they give you a cool little lanyard too.
The lanyard bead, yeah.
Is
absolutely.
that titanium?
I believe it is titanium. It looks to be the same material that the handle is made out of. Yeah, the scales are actually made out of.
Well, looking at the ano, if it is true ano, it does look like it's titanium. You get a cute little raccoon sticker. And you get a Vosteed support card. Cool. 30-day money-back guarantee. I like the orange a lot, actually.
Yeah.
It's like a really nice microfiber, actually, on this. You know,
very bright, sticks out.
I know we used ours, but let's just see if theirs does anything better. Well, I guess our carrier Bury microfibers meet the Vosteed task because they do about the same here.
I would say they're far better. They got our logo on them. Come on, man.
I like the way you talk to our EDC family sometimes, big guy. We're going to get these out of the way here. We'll put the little spacer up here, kind of.
I guess I'll have to make a
let you
lanyard
know what's
for that
going
bad
on.
boy.
You can if that's kind of your thing. Now remember, folks, if lanyards are your thing, like Herc, that's okay. And if you're like me and they're not, just sell it on eBay or keep it in the case in case you ever have to give the knife to someone who likes lanyards.
Absolutely.
Oh, let's get that out of the way. We're going to use ours here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, without further ado, normally by this time in the video, we've gotten somewhere, right? And I guess we really haven't. Poor professor here. But normally what we do is we're going to get something that, I don't know, Herc, gives them some information. What do we call that around here?
Professor's particulars? Knowledge is king?
Knowledge is king. I see where you're going with that, though. You want to get me talking. Is that what it is?
Well, remember, that's part of my job here, Carrier Bury.
Well, why don't you give them, why don't you do this, bud? While I play with this, why don't you give our disclosure to our EDC family and hopefully new viewers?
Absolutely. The knife today, as Prophet previously mentioned, was purchased by us locally without any help or discounts from any retailer or any maker. This was bought by me personally on Blade HQ. We've purchased a bunch of knives. Obviously, you've seen this on the channel. This knife obviously is a knife that I would have purchased on my own, but to grow, we got to grow together. So when we get to these knives, remember, these are unboxings, first impressions, as Prophet is seeing it for the first time.
How much did you pay for this again, one more time?
I paid $169 for this knife.
Gotcha. So basically what you're trying to get out, right, is we bought this. There's no sponsors yet.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, absolutely.
Right. So basically, we do this for the EDC family. This is for them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to show you guys what's out there.
Right.
Show you something. This is a relatively new knife. I think it dropped maybe a month ago at this point, at time of filming. So it's a relatively new one. Those of you that like slimmer knives, and we'll get into some of the particulars here.
All right. Let's start off with, again, our knowledge is king like we always do. And since we haven't had a Vosteed knife on the channel, I think it's, in my opinion, Bud, I think we should kind of give the EDC family a little bit of information on who Vosteed is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Vosteed, and please let me know if this isn't what you know, they are a Chinese manufacturer, okay, which is absolutely fine, right? No big deal there. A lot of these Chinese knife companies have come a very long way and come very far in the manufacturing process, in the heat treating process, and honestly, in the fit and finish process as well, because it's very, very, very hard to look at a lot of the newer Chinese knives that are coming out of good companies and say anything bad about a lot of them, right? It just really is. So what we will say is that Vosteed hasn't been around for a while, Herc. They've been around since 2021, and from what I've been able to find on them, right?
I will say, while you're kind of thinking about some other things, Vosteed hasn't been around super long, but they already have a lot of knives that, if you know people in the EDC realm, they know about the Vosteed Raccoon. A lot of people like smaller knives. The Vosteed Corgi is one that a lot of people are in. They do have some different kind of locking mechanisms. They have their Vancor lock that a lot of people love. So while they're a relatively new company, they are innovating. They've got a lot of things that they're trying to introduce into the knife world. So
okay, well, that's fantastic. One of those things that they're introducing is obviously their focus on the community, which I've read on their website and other people's websites. But I don't know if you're familiar with Yu Dong, but Yu is one of the founders, okay? And Yu actually used to do a lot with Kaiser, which I thought was really cool because from what I've been able to research on Vosteed is, although Yu started this company and had left Kaiser, Kaiser was one of the OEM or the main OEM manufacturer of Vosteed's knives when they started. Now, from what I understand, is all of that is done in-house now, which is really cool. In just a few short years, you were able to go from having an original OEM done somewhere else, all your tooling, all your you've gotten all your stuff now, and you're absolutely prepared to do from start to finish to make your knives in-house, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's a big jump. Definitely a big jump. And everything I've seen, everything that I've held from Vosteed has been very quality. So that's something that I can say firsthand that I know from holding their knives is that they look quality. I haven't done much with them, but they pass the eye test, if you will.
I bet they do. All right, so what I'm going to do is, since this is my first impression, is I am going to, because I have to find out where my calipers are. Lord help me. Let me grab those real quick.
Yeah, 'cause this is impressively thin. I think that's anybody who sees this knife. Yeah. Anybody who sees this is going to be the first thing they notice is just how thin this thing is.
Let's get these guys turned on. Make sure they're adjusted correctly. We're going to start with millimeter. And I'm actually, I don't never do this, but I'm going to start without trying to scratch the handle. 7.25 millimeter on your handle. Are you kidding me right now? That's wild, bro. Okay, well let's go to inches on that for those who don't know, because that is going to be 285 thousandths of an inch for the handle. The handle?
That's pretty crazy.
Let me try that. Did I get that wrong?
Oh.
No, I didn't.
285.
Well, maybe with 288 because I pulled it off a little funny. Wow, dude.
That's thin, very thin.
EDC family, that's for the handle. That's not the blade stock. Yeah, just so you know. Speaking of, because we know the handle, again, we're going to start in inches this time since I've already done that. Our blade stock at the, oh my gosh. Are you kidding me right now? Let me see if I can get this in frame. And this is like on the big part of the back spine. 78 or thousands. I mean, seriously, dude, like, are you kidding me right now?
That's pretty darn tiny.
Oh, Lord help me. I tell you what, let's just put that back into millimeters right now, which is about 1.97, 1.98 millimeters. That's for the thickest part of the blade. I would go ahead and go on a limb and say, is this a pretty slicey knife?
Yes. Spoiler alert, yes. It is very, very slicey. When we do our review, that's definitely going to be one of my pros is this thing is effortless to cut with. It is so slicey.
Do you know the blade length on this? I'm going to say 3 inches.
I think it is right around 2.9 or 3 inches.
Oh, gotcha.
Is what they say.
You know, and again, this is a first impression for you, those of you that are waiting for Professor's particulars. I have queued up the Blade HQ specifics on this to help us, but I'm not going to look at that until we get there. Is that a flat blade grind or is it convex?
It is flat, yeah, flat grind.
It's just that it's so thin that it feels like it might be convex. Holy cow.
Yeah, it is a flat grind.
EDC family, I'm telling you, there isn't a lot of knives that I'll grab the blade on and think that you might have a convex or concave type edge when it's not. Super cool. This is 100% flat ground.
I don't know if they'd be able to do a convex grind on that thing. That would have got so thin so fast.
This is unbelievable. So the blade, this is just crazy to me. And again, if I remember right, this is S35VN?
Correct, yep, S35 and S35VN. There are other variants that have 154 CM, but this is the S35VN.
Right, and then EDC family, just so you know, if you have any questions about S35VN or the actual name of CPM S35VN, because it is a powdered metallurgy super steel, you can go to knifesteelnerds.com and check out Dr. Laren Thomas, who is the creator of MagnaCut. And we're not saying that because he knows anything about our little channel. We're saying that because he's the best. He is the author of knife manufacturing. And honestly, there's a reason why we call him Dr. Steel, right, bud?
He is a very knowledgeable man when it comes to steels and the pros, the cons, strength, ability to hold an edge, all of those things that you have questions about when you're looking at blade steels. That guy knows it. He is the man.
So although it doesn't have a deep carry clip, this is about what it will show while you're wearing your jeans. I'm not a huge fan of wired clips. Spyderco, I know, loves them. Not always for me, by the way.
That is one thing that I'm not a huge fan of on the knife is the wire clip.
You know, but, you know, also it doesn't have excellent retention. Have you had an issue with that?
No, yes. That's one of the negatives that I've seen carrying it in the short period of time that I have, is that it does tend to catch on things. It's amazing to me how a knife so thin and so small has the ability to catch on your hand every time you put it in your pocket.
It does have that tip up, and it is ambidextrous, left or right hand carry, if I'm noticing that correctly. Now, tell me a little bit about this locking mechanism. Seems super familiar, right?
Yeah.
Or what are they calling it? Obviously, they're not going to call it an alpha lock.
No, I believe I saw crossbar.
You know what? That actually sounds like the generic answer for that.
There's a million different ways to describe it.
This would be a crossbar type lock. Absolutely. It's probably got an Omega spring in there. We'd have to open it up to see. We do have some very, very nice blue anodizing, both inside the knife here, at where you would have your lanyard, for some of you, right? And then you also have a back spacer between the two parts here that is also this really nice blue. And then you have dual thumb bar, which I always love when you're going to have an ambidextrous knife. And you do have the nice cutouts on both sides. So you're lefty if you're really taking the pocket clip off and moving it, right? So not a big deal. I didn't see any extra hardware in there. So if you break that hardware on here, you're going to have to find one, right?
Yep.
Let me ask you something. You might know this, you might not know this, but like you said, we got about 3 inches, and we'll find this out when we look at the Blade HQ stuff. Do you know what it weighs? Because it can't weigh more than 3 ounces.
No, I think it was less than 2.5 even, I want to say, when I looked at it. 2.29, 2.3, something like that.
For a guy with big hands like me, this knife is gone, right?
Yep.
Oh, it's there. Abracadabra! We've got a knife that can cut. Oh, it's gone. Lord, what happened to it? Oh, it's in your ear. No, I'm sorry about that.
No, it does fill the hand really nicely, because I think you and I have both established that our hands are slightly above average as far as size goes.
Yeah, we've established that. I think everyone in the world has established that, right? Okay.
But this blade actually fits in the hand really well. Now, obviously, I wouldn't use it for hard use. I wouldn't, be out in the woods cutting crazy stuff with it. But as an EDC knife, if your everyday is cutting tape off boxes or cutting some cardboard, this thing is going to excel and cut it with ease.
Well, you know what? I think we've talked enough about the opening comments on that, so I think we can now move on to the second segment. What do we call that again? You already mentioned it once in this.
Professor's Particular?
Professor's Particular.
Hey.
So I think what I'll do, I hope you all learned something, right? Let's say goodbye to the Knowledge is King icon, right? Let's welcome the Professor's Particular icon. And let's load up Blade HQ here. I'm just kind of curious. All right, folks. This is all coming directly off Blade HQ's website. The overall length of our knife, okay, that is open from a very big tip on this reverse tanto.
It is reverse tanto.
I always get that wrong.
Yeah,
I got it right that time.
You're learning, Prophet.
No, I read it on Blade HQ's. Anyways, folks.
But you learned how to read. That's pretty good.
There's some words that get me.
Well, that happens.
Like,
It's the whole CK thing. It's CK,
No.
CH. Those are hard.
the one that I have issues with are the ones that say you are due to appear. For whatever reason.
Anyways, you digress.
I digress. That's right. So, 7 40 thousandths of an inch, so 7.04 inches. 2.90 for the length of the blade.
Hey, I was right.
Yeah, you were actually right on the money there.
I'm good.
The width of the blade is 0.96 inches, or 960 thousandths. Crazy.
So the height is 960. So this is just about an inch. The height of the blade.
Almost an inch, right? So that means from here to here, we're not even at an inch. What a tiny little
Not
knot.
at an inch.
The blade thickness, it's coming in at 80 thousandths. The blade material, we talked about, CPNS 35VN. Go see Knife Steel Nerds. The blade style, reverse tanto, right? Because you either have a tanto or a reverse tanto. This is tanto. You have a full flat grind, which is awesome. Satin finish, plain edge type. The handle length is about 4.140 or 4.14 inches. The handle width, 0.92, just under an inch as well. Titanium with a brass color or brass anodization. You also have the weight, 2.29 ounces. Wow.
I must have remembered that from when I bought it.
Wow.
Shoo-wee.
Pretty cool. And you're right, they are calling, so there's even bearings in this. I didn't even look at that. So it is running on bearings. We have a dual thumb stud. And honestly, they are calling it a crossbar lock, so great job. You as the designer and the manufacturer, and those are the particulars of this knife. I think we'll move right into comparison if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So I thought it'd be really fun for one that I'm doing some testing on. You had mentioned that it's, like a 5th pocket size knife for us guys on the phone. So I was like, I think I just recently got one in, and we did. This little guy here, let me get it ready for camera ready. Makeup! Yeah, you got to call for makeup.
You do.
Sometimes.
You have to. In the big biz like this, you can't be looking all shabby.
With the bright lights
and
the
camera.
Or the bright-ish lights, maybe go with. Yeah. At any rate,
well, guys like us, we have faces for radio. At least that's what Mom says.
Oh, my mom says I don't even have that.
So I don't have to worry about makeup.
No, you're doing something right. We're going to start with the rendition.
Ooh. The rendition.
But it's not just any rendition.
Oh, it isn't.
No, it's a Boker collab.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? Yes, please. Look at this beaut.
That's pretty.
And does that have Chavez's?
Oh, the pocket clip.
It has his actual skull clip. They figured out how to get it on there.
Oh, nice.
And it's a regular size, too.
Oh, that's a beauty.
So if you're looking for a Chavez rendition, right? That's like, I really wish I had one, but I wish that it was smaller.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want that, right? A cute little pocket knife to cut open the mail, you know, whatever.
That is a nice knife for cutting up.
And then you think, oh, you know, I want it to be automatic, right?
Right.
Because that's not dangerous at all to have a tiny knife that you can barely hold on to.
Yeah, that thing's got a kick too.
Oh, it flew out of my hand the first time I opened it, which is why I say it. And that is why we don't have a goat anymore. I'm just kidding, EDC family.
More on that later.
No more on that later. No, he's joking. He's a kidder, EDC family. No, so this is the Rendition Boker Chavez collab. And I imagined that the Vosteed was going to be about that size. My imagination isn't perfect. So if you have held a mini Rendition, the Parallel is much bigger.
It's hard because it's a small knife, but yet it's a full-size knife.
That's correct. So I'm glad I have some options that I picked up today, aren't you?
I wish you had some more knives, if I were honest.
Yeah, you know, it's starting a knife channel without owning any was so hard.
Yeah, I can only imagine. You know,
I keyed.
I came over and I saw Prophet's knife collection the first time, and it's like 3 luggage-size boxes.
Well, you know.
And he's like, "Oh, this is like a quarter of what I have."
Yeah, you know.
And the stuff in there was all amazing to me because I was just starting out in the EDC world, and now we're here.
Yeah, there's a reason why I get a lot of those mails that I can't read and say, you know, you are due to appear. You know, I don't know. You know, I'm not really sure. You know. At any rate, folks, I'm just kidding about that too.
That's getting cut.
When you have a Benchmade bug out, oh my goodness, I just did it again. This isn't a bug out at all.
That is an Osborne.
This is the Osborne. Oh. To all you 940 people, forgive me. I know it's normally Professor or Herc that makes the mistake. I'm fallible as well. But I'm going to blame it on them every time because that's what I like to do. All right. At any rate, you have... You know, not crazy. You have a little bit more. You have a couple inches, maybe inch and a half of more of the handle length and the blade. But I mean, thickness-wise, you're basically right on.
Yeah, it does carry much like I did carry that Osborne for a little while, and it does carry very similar to that. The Osborne disappears in your pocket. This thing disappears in your pocket.
Both very slim too, slim profiles.
Yeah, absolutely.
But nothing like that. I mean, that's just insane to me.
They also both have a little bit more of that narrower blade. You know, a lot of knives are going to be wider, you're inch and a half, inch and a quarter. Right. Those are both about an inch height blade.
Well, you know, every time we give a shout out to Dr. Laren Thomas, and I'm like, I'd like to have a MagnaCut, something MagnaCut to, you know, put on the comparison part. What better? Wow, this is a comparison that is getting closer.
Yeah, that's not bad.
This is the Hogue Deca with dressed in MagnaCut.
Beautiful knife. That's a beautiful knife.
You also have the dual thumb studs on these Decas. You also have
a crossbar lock.
Well, this one actually isn't a crossbar lock. Do you know why? Because Mr. Hogue is the inventor of this lock.
Ooh.
He invented it for Benchmade years ago and called it the Axis lock. When he left Benchmade and started his own thing again with these guys, you know, hey, things go whatever. This is a USA-made Deca. And we're going to look at how close it is to this guy. You have a lot of things that are accurate. The same style lock that Herc just pointed out, right? Mm-hmm. You've got the dual thumb stud, so you can... I can't Spidey flick it. I have to use my pointer finger to do the back flip or Spidey flick. Where on the Deca, I can use... Oops, no, I can't, can I? Holy cow, let's try that again. Yeah, I can use my regular Spidey flick finger, but I can probably also use my index. So... They're very similar, but I'm seeing something that the EDC family probably cannot see. So that thickness, what a difference, boy. I tell you, folks, this Parallel, my goodness. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, it's minuscule compared to the Hogue there.
It's absolutely, I mean, literally like, let's see if we can get that in the camera shot. I mean, you still have, yeah, it's it's a big deal. Obviously, you're going to feel it, you know, in its sliceability. The blade stock is pretty close on these guys, I would believe, though, actually. So I think this is the closest one that we've had to it.
Absolutely.
But most of our viewers, which, you know, and subscribers and EDC family, they may not have had the option to even have a Hogue Deca, right? But I would imagine most of you in this video area that are coming to look at EDC videos have held a time or two maybe, or even once, a PM3. Not to be confused with the PM2, which is the paramilitary 2, but is colloquial called the PM2. Whereas this is not a paramilitary, Professor, at all. So when you're editing the video, make sure you just put simply PM3. Okay, now, with that being said, again, you're seeing a very close deal when it comes to the length of the knives. In fact, you know, with the choil on the Spydercos, I would say that you're even going to get more cutting. Yeah, you're going to get a little bit more cutting area with the Vosteed.
It doesn't have the belly of the PM3.
Correct. Yep, you've got that really thin knife blade. But again, when it comes down to thickness on these guys, you know, this is a big difference. I can't get over how thin the Vosteed is. I mean, I just can't. That's bugging me. Sorry, EDC family. Bugging me. Okay. Now, with that being said, I digress. I think we've had a pretty good comparison time, right? Would you agree?
I would agree. Absolutely. It's amazing to me how close the PM3 and the Vosteed were as far as length and all that goes for as different shaped they are.
Unbelievable. So I think the only thing we can do now is kind of get into the carryorbury side of things. I think because you've actually carried it and I haven't, what I think I'd like to do, and I think the EDC family would agree with me, Herc, is they would like to see me, right, Prophet, maybe say one thing I like about it, and then you say one thing you like about it.
We can probably do that.
Isn't the same as mine.
Ooh, we can do that.
All right. You know, you can't copycat me.
I believe in us.
I mean, I know you want to make parallels. All right. Herc, what do you think about this? Huh? I'm just kidding. I start. If you know that reference, folks, I'd like to hear that in the comments as well. All right. I think I'm going to go with the first need of this knife for me, honestly. And you can get mad or not get mad. But I was actually really impressed with the action, you know, even though it's a smaller knife.
Yeah.
The action on this guy is really good. I know these guys are not always known in the beginning for their detents. They've had some issues with a few of their other knives from what I've read. The detent for this guy, although it's, you know, the crossbar is kind of hard to get the detent bad, but I have had some. This one is fantastic. Detent, the way that it opens, the way that you have multiple opening choices for it, you know, I mean, just goes, you know.
It is incredibly snappy.
I mean, to even get my pointer finger in there and be able to open it that way, reliable. I'm going to go with action. What do you got for us for needs?
My first need, I'm going to go a little bit different than where I was going to go to start. The fit and finish. For as thin as this knife is, and as thin as the blade is, the tolerance between the blade and the handle scale, I mean, it's, what did I measure? I think I measured, you could fit 2 or 3 pieces of paper between it on each side.
We actually did it with dollar bills. We did that here on the compound the other day. We were able to get, I mean, we're talking new crisp dollar bills.
Yeah.
We were able to get 3 in tightly on both sides, but not 4.
Just crazy. The fit and finish for, you know, when I saw this knife, I was like, this thing looks really cool. It's super thin, looks super slicely. I want to try it. Decided to buy it. When I got it, I was expecting something that it didn't feel as quality as this one does. Prophet already mentioned how it opens, how it feels, the detent. That was fantastic. But just the fit and finish on something this small, it just is amazing to me how they can hold those tight of tolerances where the blade is centered, but there's not a whole lot of room between that blade and the handle. So the fit and finish for me, this design on here just looks amazing.
And that's if I'm not mistaken, that's a topological or topo design is what they call it?
Topographical.
Topographical, thank you.
Yeah, and it's amazing. You can't even do it justice on these cameras because it's with the glossy gold titanium, brass colored.
No, it's okay. I'm just kidding.
No, with the color on the titanium that they got, the purple, the blue really stands out. The blue backspacer, the fit and finish, how things turned out. The hardware is all recessed. They just did a great job with fit and finish. That's mine.
Actually, you make a really good point that I didn't point out, Herc. The recessed hardware on something this thin, super cool. I mean, it's not all perfect. Like you've got a little bit here. But I mean, imagine most of it is absolutely darn near, like, it's super cool. That's something I missed. Even the pivot, it's not sticking out too far. Even the crossbar lock. Even the thumb studs, honestly, they're really, when you look at this thing from this angle, you aren't getting, you get it right there. I mean, that's pretty darn good, right? Let's get that one more time, try to get that in there. There you go. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. I like your number 2. I like your number 2 need.
Thank you.
Oh, Professor just helped us out, Herc, and he put another need up there. And I guess this is a first impression, so we do 3.
All right, deal. Oh,
I think we should both think of one, and we try to say it together. Okay.
Oh, man.
Parallel, right?
Oh.
Okay. And so I've got mine, all right? You've got yours? 3, 2, 1, thickness.
Blade steel.
Okay.
Oh.
I did win. I'm just kidding.
Shoot.
But I like that. So as you see, number 3, we went with the actual thickness of the knife on my end. There's another company out there that offers a knife very similar to this in thickness. It is insanely expensive. I don't know what the company's name, something about a bench, something, some kind of weird
Park bench?
I don't know, or made bench with like some kind of fairy on the blade, like with its wings outstretched.
Weird.
I thought it looked like a butterfly, but who knows? We digress.
Yes.
That company has a very thin knife out there for basically, a month's mortgage. And, they claim that it was because of how thin they made it, right? Well, I mean, we're seeing that anyone can pick one of these guys up with titanium, with premium blade steel, and with very tight tolerances, as seen here, for $129 over at Blade HQ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Or probably anywhere, right? Like I'm just saying, your favorite retailer. Until we get sponsorship here on the channel, you pick one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They
Now-
do have other exclusive knives. I was looking around, and there are other exclusive knives that they have with other places. But
Let's just try this. I think when I yelled out thickness, you yelled out something about blade steel, right?
yeah, I did yell at something about blade steel. For the guy who's owned mostly budget knives for most of his EDC loving career, to have a little bit more of a premium knife steel is. I'm starting to learn how nice it is to have nice knife steel.
Yeah. Say that 5 times fast. Dr.
Nice.
Laren Thomas, Dr. Laren Thomas. I mean,
Nice knife steel, nice knife steel, nice knife steel, nice knife steel. Ooh, that's pretty good.
well, before Professor absolutely kills us with one of these, I think we should get into, there it goes, a nail sound that started the same way. For me, the biggest thing, just kind of like grabbing it and holding it, is going to be that pocket clip.
yeah.
That's a big no-no. Don't like it.
Yeah, and from experience while carrying it, it doesn't, like you said, it's not tight. This is how it came. I don't remember bending it or doing anything crazy with it. And the couple times that I carried it, this is how it came. It sticks out from your pocket a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, me too. So. What's your second or the second nail on this one?
So I mean, kind of related to that with the pocket clip would just be pocketability. Like I said, it sits in your pocket a little bit too far out, and it catches every time I put my hand in my pocket. I would bring the knife out with me, which you want that clip to hold it tight to your pocket until you intend to pull that knife out. So.
Let me ask you a question before we get into our third and final nail then, since we're already going to get eaten alive in the comments with 2 similar nails already.
That's true.
It's okay. We're okay with that. I mean, I know the difference.
I might just cry at night when they
You might.
comment.
Before we get into that, my friend,
Okay.
let me ask you this. Now, when this knife, right, ooh, wow, first
cut your
throw
finger
on that.
off.
Yeah, I'm not very good with the left hand. But what I was going to say on this is the ones that are 129, what kind of blade steel do they have again?
That is a 154 CM.
Okay. So literally for $40 more, right, you were able to get S35VN.
Correct.
And a really cool design, and really well done coloring and anodization. Okay, now, I think we can do the same thing we just did before. We both say a nail on the count of 3, right? I'm trying to get you to do it first this time, bud. 1, 2, 3.
I don't have one.
Availability.
For that specific one, yes, I can agree with that.
Okay, well, we're in agreement, but I also am going to say, I think for all of them, because regardless of, with the availability, in my opinion, Herc, okay, and then we'll close this up. But with my opinion on this is, yep, you made a limited edition with Blade HQ. They probably did this with other places possibly as well. And that's great. And it's beautiful. It's well done. You know, there's some things we love about it, some things we don't like. But regardless, you're giving your EDC purchasers a chance to buy a better blade steel, which, you know, I've always loved that type of thing. But only 300 people can get it at Blade HQ. Otherwise, you're stuck with, you know, I'm not saying 154 CM is a bad blade steel, but for $40 more, every time I'd buy a 35 VN.
I can actually tell you, not to step on your toes.
No, you're not.
I hate to do that.
Yeah.
But the $149 ones, they actually come in S35 VN.
Oh, I wish I would have known that before I went on this rant.
The $129 ones, those are the 154 CMs.
Dear God.
$149.99, those are the S35 VNs.
You know, Herc, you can step on my toes a little faster next time.
They just don't come in the fancy topographical.
Okay, fine. We'll just say this: Knife Pirates, right? For anytime you got limited edition.
Yeah.
EDC family, I'm gonna relinquish. Well, availability for these type is a thing, right? Yeah, we're gonna move on. Well, you know, I could sit and feel silly all day long, right, about this, about our nails, right? But I think we put it really good. So remember to kind of give you a real quick on this unboxing video.
Yeah.
To give you a little bit more information on this, folks, again, the needs that we're saying on our first impression are going to be the fantastic and wonderful detent and action on the knife. And then we also talked about the thickness of the knife. We talked about the fit and finish of the knife and all that wonderful stuff.
Blade steel.
That's right. We also had the blade steel in there.
On this specific one, yeah.
And during the nails, even though we had a big segment part of there where probably should get edited, but I doubt that will, what we will say is the nails for us were really in the carryability. I mean, when you have a knife this big, take the darn thing off and give us a slip, you know?
Yep.
If you're not going to do the pocket clip right, don't do the pocket clip at all, in my opinion.
That's exactly
That's my opinion. That's just the way I'm looking at it. There was one more thing we talked about. I can't remember exactly what it was, right? But what we will say is limited edition stuff can get picked up by Knife Pirates. It's, you know, that kind of thing. It's nice to have some better options, which apparently they have some blade steel options at $149. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Or $59 or something like that.
$149.
Wonderful.
At Blade HQ.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to broadcast or advertise for them, but if they wanted to become a sponsor at some point, we might be open to talking.
Well, if they don't? At any rate, so folks, about the Vosteed knife that we showed you today on the channel here, right? About this little guy. Let's make it look pretty, huh? All right, let's go. Let's grab our ending stuff that we're going to need here. Oh yeah, we need that. So get that out of the way. You also get the really cool case. I kind of wonder if you'd get this case with, say, some of the other ones.
I don't know if the ones that are in the 154 CM or even the 149 ones with the S35 VN come with that case or not. I haven't purchased one to find out.
I'll tell you what, if we ever have to bury this thing, we're going to have to buy bigger coffins.
We will have to get a bigger coffin. All
right. Well, about the Vosteed Parallel, folks, and all of their knives and items that we have had or will have on our channel. Remember, Herc kind of tells you this all the time. We're not YouTubers. We're not lawyers. You should never, ever get legal advice from anyone that isn't professional. Do I sound professional ever? All right, but seriously, guys, also please look into and really study and know your local knife laws. You don't want to, get busted being prepared and getting in trouble for just trying to be prepared. If you're not sure how, it does not hurt to visit, and if all possible, to support the AKTI.org folks, who are the American Knife and Tool Institute, and they are on the front lines helping us keep our sharpness, our freedoms, and our rights.
Ooh, love that.
What else was I going to say, Herc?
Well, I think you were going to mention how if your hands and fingers weren't stuck in wax, ice cream, or even in carbonite,
good one.
You should be able to find us easily online. Right? Then you, our wonderful EDC family, can help us grow. Love seeing those subscribers go up and those views go up. That makes us really happy here. Feel free in those comments to make sure you let us know what you're liking, what you're not liking, so that we can make those videos better in the future.
I'm going to pause you briefly, Herc. So as you folks know, our recent, and especially for Dane, I love you, brother, and all of our other commenters, I have been dealing with some personal medical things. This is Prophet talking, if you haven't figured that out yet. So I haven't been able to hop on the email or hop on and really do much lately. I'm honestly barely getting these videos out. However, Herc has been a huge help, and he is now officially taking over, at least for now, responding to folks until I'm feeling a little better. But on folks like Dane, who I feel is family, I just wanted to let you know personally, brother, I apologize for, missing some communication with you. I will make it up for you one day, buddy. But until now, I'm going to give you the big guy here, okay? And at any rate, forgive me, Herc. You can go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Yeah, as I was mentioning before, let us know what you're liking or not liking so we can make this channel the best one for our EDC family on YouTube. We're not media experts. With your help, we can also grow, much like all the other good YouTube channels that are devoted to EDC. So feel free to lovingly click the search bar to your favorite social media app or site. Type in all in one word, carry or bury. We'd love to see what's in your pocket. Absolutely, send that stuff. Or you can tell us what knife you want reviewed, or even what your favorite EDC gear or items are. We'd love to hear more from all of you. And like Prophet said, I'm going to get to those comments as often as I can and respond to those, and love to get to know some of our loved subscribers to the channel. Don't forget also, if you're not subscribed yet, click that subscribe button, like for more content. With your help, we're going to be the most prepared family on YouTube and beyond.
Love it. Yeah, because we really would like some help slicing through this YouTube algorithm, right?
Oh,
Ba-da-bum. And folks, we're going to close this out before I get in more trouble with the professor. Or with actually Kitten, for that matter. So until next time, EDC family, keep those blades sharp. Keep those flashlights charged, or torches charged. Keep those Band-Aids close. And keep that subscribe button blinking.
Woo,
Do they blink?
baby.
Actually, I don't even know if they blink. You know what?
I think there's a bell. They make a bell. Ding.
Sweet. Keep the bell on, or whatever, right?
Taco
Who cares? You know what? Don't. Don't. You know what? I think I'm getting a little sick of making these parallels. So, you are, folks, each and every one of you EDC family, without messing around, you guys really are the best tool in your daily EDC loadout. All this does is make it feel a little bit better for you, right? So God bless. We will see you next time.